Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Downloadable Opinions. I'm your host, Brian Best, and I'm joined today by the ever-wonderful, villainous Adam Gayton. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good.
That's good to hear. Unfortunately, our other co-host, P0rn, is off right now. He's out and about in the universe, saving the world and whatnot. But anyways, this show today, we are very happy to bring you our kind of E3 predictions level of awesomeness, which I'm going to call this episode of stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Cool name, bro.
Yeah, I'm just going off on a crazy rant about it. But anyways, it's going to be all the E3 stuff that we're expecting to see, our predictions for the various companies that are going to be showing their wares, namely Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. We're going to go into a bit of quickie news and then a little bit of an open-ended question from an article written by CNN. But anyways, we're going to get started off. E3 is next week. It is June 5th, I think it is, the Monday, when it gets kicked off, and it goes for about a week. And E3 is the basically the video games kind of mecca, where everyone comes out, they show the wares, they show what the new kind of gaming hardware, new consoles, if stuff comes up, or new video games as well. This year we're expecting. It might be a great year. It might not be such a great year for announcements. I'm talking in terms of the new consoles that will be coming out. But anyways, we're going to get started off with the first company on the docket, probably the more interesting one, I'll say, for the three of them, Nintendo. Nintendo, from what we saw last year, announced their Wii U, their next video game console. That's going to include this really weird, really large peripheral that has a screen inside it. Adam was quick to point out before the show started that this kind of looks like an iPad with joysticks attached to it. The new console will also have HD graphics comparable to what the PS3 and Xbox 360 are able to output right now, as well as all the other fun motion controls that everyone has become accustomed to with Nintendo products in this day and age. Anyways, Adam, from last year to now, what do you think of Nintendo as a company, basically going into this new E3?
Well, since that year, I've stopped playing my Wii, so there's a good start. For what I got from the Wii U is pretty simple. I mean, to me, it doesn't feel like it's doing nearly as much as it should be for a console that's going to change that much. What they did is add more gimmicks to it, as far as I'm concerned. And they can say whatever they want, but they're going to have more third-party games, more games for the hardcore gamers. I really have a hard time believing that you're going to see Battlefield, whatever next one comes out, or the next Call of Duty in full, or any other really like M-rated games on Nintendo when they're still just making so much money selling off kids. It doesn't make any sense to me. But with the Wii U altogether, I mean, like I said, it really does look like just a joystick-covered iPad. But the only one thing that I took from that I actually really liked, and it's a great idea and it really should be repeated a little more often, is that they were mentioning that because there's the screen on that controller, that if you turned the TV off or if you turned it onto the cable, so say your parents wanted to watch something but you still want to play your game, you can still play the game with that. And that is an ingenious idea. That's the one thing I took out of it and said, you know what? The rest of it doesn't make any sense, but that is a hugely, very intelligent idea.
I have to agree with you. That one element is why I'm kind of holding on to Wii U, as this could actually be really, really cool if they have some really killer games. Now, when it comes to Nintendo right now, in my opinion, is that they have sold these $400 machines to grandparents, to little kids, to basically every single demographic that any video game retailers wanted to get to. And now they're asking that customer base to buy another console, a brand new console again, and I don't think they're going to get as many sales as they did unless they have those killer apps, unless they have those games that are just amazing to have. Now, with the Wii U controller, I have to agree that it's ingenious to have like a controller that you can take with you and basically play the same kind of experience that you would get on a television. The only thing I can say about this is exactly what the PS Vita was brought out to do in terms of the Sony PS3 Connect ability, where you can play PS3 games on the Vita while still in the same, basically your local area network with the PS3, so inside your own home. What do you think about that, Adam? Do you think this copies that? Do you think it's this one feature far too much for the console to ride on in order for it to sell?
Well, considering the Wii U was revealed first, I have a feeling that the Vita was actually copying that, considering how bad the PSP Go did, if anybody remembers what the hell that piece of crap was like.
Yeah.
But the problem I would say with Wii U copying Vita or vice versa is that Sony doesn't have Mario, it doesn't have Zelda, it doesn't have Metroid, it doesn't have the franchises like Nintendo does. So at least Nintendo may not sell the Wii U as quickly and as massively as the original Wii did, but they still have the franchises and the appeal that it's still going to get enough into it. Whether it becomes better than the Vita is yet to be seen. I mean, the Vita, I kind of want one, and I don't just because there's nothing for it yet, but the fact that something that looks that good, it almost looks like, having a PlayStation 2 in your hands at all times. It's still a little big, it's not exactly a pocket device, but between the two, I mean, considering I don't have either in my hands, or, well, one of them's not in our hands anywhere yet.
Yeah.
But, it's really hard to get a real grasp on what you're getting, because especially with the Wii U, we don't know what they're coming out with. They say the graphics are going to be better, but we don't know what games are coming out that are going to be better on that side of it. Because they were talking that they were going to have, like, the new Ghost Recon, and, well, the new one's out, and they haven't even really shown the console yet. So it's kind of too late for that. So, I mean, all the things that they showed off in the keynotes from last year, it doesn't really apply anymore because none of those games came to fruition.
Yep. You have a very good point that we have not seen a Wii U in the wild, therefore we cannot corroborate what Nintendo has been showing us. I mean, remember what happened with the PS3 when it first launched? Remember that entire CG cutscene that Sony tried to play off as Killzone 2 as being in-game footage was completely CG, and they had to come out and say that this isn't in-game footage at all. Again,
I mean, let's be honest though. Like, if a game gets to the point where it's that realistic looking all the time, I think it would almost get too weird.
Maybe. I think
it really depends. I mean, if it gets too real, it gets to the point where you're just like, okay, this feels more like I'm just watching TV now.
But in the future, I mean, we are going to get to that point because graphics are just getting faster and faster and better and just looking amazing all the time. That I think we are going to get to that kind of uncanny, the uncanny valley that we've been mentioning in so many of these shows in the future. Like, it's going to be a thing that's going to happen, in 5-10 years maybe. But anyways, going back to Nintendo, the only thing I could say is that it all depends on price for this thing. This console looks like it's going to be 10 times better than the Wii in terms of hardware, but this controller is going to be expensive. I mean, this looks like an actual tablet that you're going to have to, pay out the nose for.
I'm trying to remember, because I think they actually did mention what they thought would be the price for it. I think it was somewhere in like the $200 range for just a controller, which is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. No one's gonna be able to buy 4 of these things for the kids. Unless it comes with it. In that case, Nintendo's going to be eating up a ton of costs up front.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
You also turned into a little girl.
Did I now?
Yes, you did.
Oh, there's background noise. Oh, I have to start punching people.
Yeah. But anyways, we mentioned the games, and what do you think about the games for the Wii U? We already heard from last year's E3 that a new Super Smash Bros. Will be released both on Wii U as well as the 3DS. So what do you think is going to be showing up for that stuff there?
Well, I think, that's not even written in Sony yet, but we know what's going to happen. If Sony's making their PlayStation All-Stars, they're quickly going to come out with a new Super Smash just to crush it right back down. Mm-hmm. But I think the only 2 games that Nintendo's officially released or at least said that's going to be released on it, I think is the third Pikmin and the new Super Mario, whichever one that one will be. Because I think the Super Mario, they're trying to make another 2D side-scroller like they did with new Super Mario's Wii.
Yeah. It looks exactly like a port from the Wii game.
I mean, I have a feeling that we might see a little hint of Zelda this year. Yeah, I don't even know. It might even be like Halo 4 was at the end of Microsoft's last year, where it's just like a really quick, 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
But it feels like if they really want to end off on a high note, Zelda's probably the way to go, because I think Skyward Sword went through the roof this year. Or last year, I should say, technically. But.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Skyward Sword was definitely a great seller for Wii users. And it was the only game I would consider playing off of the just entire Wii game library from last year. nothing really appealed to me. Like, nothing appeals to me from Nintendo for the, like, actual hardcore gamer. I mean, I'm more enticed by stuff that's coming out on the DS and 3DS than I am for the actual Wii console.
Which is funny, because especially with me, because I'm a JRPG guy, like, all the JRPGs moved to the DS.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true.
Atlas and NIS made so many games the last, like, 3 years for that thing. Holy jeez.
There's a bunch more games coming out for, like, a lot of remakes, too. I mean, like, we've talked about remakes before, but, like, Ocarina of Time, Metal Gear Solid 3 came out there, a new Resident Evil game came out on it, a bunch of these kind of, like, cool games that I would consider playing if they were an actual console experience, but they're out on the DS and 3DS.
Yeah, you'd think Nintendo would wise up, especially with you have to assume that you're going to see a few more of those games on the Wii U if the graphics are as up to par as the 360 and the PS3 are currently, even though the PS4 and 720 will blow the Wii U out of the water again.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing with Nintendo. I'm getting the feeling it's more like everything from them is more portable. Like the Wii U console, the actual controller with the screen in it, and being able to take that wherever you go inside your own house. The 3DS being such a power heavy game console that has all these really fun games. The DS, which still has a huge library and back library of games from the Game Boy Advance. Just all these games are really, really fun to play. But it's no longer a sit-down in front of a TV experience. It's now a move it into your bedroom, move it into the dining room, kitchen, wherever you are. You have a mobile gaming experience that is to any kind of degree that you want it to be. The only thing that's missing is for them to be on phones, and I don't think that's too far away for Nintendo.
Well, I mean, we already had the N-Gage, so we really have to go down that road again.
Well, in terms of how mobile gaming has been going on iPhone and Android, I'm not going to be surprised if some kind of smaller Nintendo franchises move over, like Game Freaks and Pokemon, or even, I don't know, Kid Icarus, maybe? It's a long shot, but I could see it happening one day, just because of the margins that are on iPhone and on Android.
Let me try the reverse with you, though, considering how the Wii U does look a bit like a tablet. Do you think Nintendo would try to go the opposite way and try to make their own little social games?
I could see that happening. If Nintendo actually decided to bring out a tablet, I could see people wanting to buy that as well.
Because considering they're already selling to the family group, I mean, that's the people who are playing Angry Birds and Farmville and all those kinds of games. So you think they might try?
Well, could you imagine if they actually, oh man, that would be perfect. Hang on a second. They've got a touchscreen tablet. Rovio is going to want to be on this thing. Angry Birds is going to be on this. They're going to sell 1 million Wii U's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, think about how well Minecraft's doing for the 360 since they put it on. It made money after an hour, and it's still going.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going massive on Xbox Live Arcade. It's, you know what, it just came to me that if Nintendo brought out their own line of tablets that actually had an OS on them and they were able to play Wii U games along with some kind of DS feature or, playing the backlog or back catalog of any Virtual Console games that are available, I could see that being an actual contender in the tablet marketplace as opposed to the video game realm.
It's very possible. I mean, considering Nintendo they have been having a bit of a bad year in terms of their profits, but they're still just a mega corporation. They could pretty much buy up a couple of the indie devs and just really run along with it.
Absolutely. I think Nintendo, if they play it right, they could become an even bigger company. However, like I said in the beginning of the segment, I don't think they have the corporate DNA in order to do that. They've always been a gaming-centric company, and I don't know if they can change the way that they are right now. I mean, they can fully surprise me, but I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, considering Nintendo's lost my interest since probably around the Metroid Other M
having fun tapping
where
there?
It really started, yeah. Yeah, but since Metroid Other M, that was really the point where it was oh, okay, you guys can't even make it a half decent game really that much fun anymore. I think I'm done with you.
Yeah.
So I mean, until they can prove me otherwise, I mean, I'm still kind of excited and intrigued on what they're going to do with it, but they're still gonna. I still don't think they're gonna hit the hardcore gaming regime that well. I think it's still gonna be very 95% kid promoted. So.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. Well, anyways, Nintendo will be showing off all their stuff next week. We'll be sure to be updating you with all the reveals for that for that company. Anyways, moving on to the next company, we're going to go and talk about Sony. Obviously, makers of the PlayStation 3, coming out with the PlayStation Vita and still supporting the PlayStation Portable for the next, I think it's another 5 years, I think, somewhere around there. Just remember that Sony has that 10-year console life development process that they've announced since PS3. There's a lot of new games coming out for it. We obviously know that the All-Stars game that we were talking about last week will be coming out. But there's also rumors of the next PlayStation console, the PlayStation 4, being announced or at least leaked in some way at E3 during Sony's keynote. Now, I don't know what we will be expecting from Sony this year, but we'll definitely be seeing an upgrade in graphics, hard drive capabilities, as well as a host of other new features. Not forgetting about PlayStation Move, which is PlayStation's answer to the Wii, as well as Kinect.
Which isn't any different.
Which isn't any different. But anyways, Adam, what are your thoughts of Sony this year? Or this past year going to E3?
Well, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like it's going to be much different from Xbox, because, I mean, I've looked at the list of most of the games they're going to come out with, and most of the games that they have are going to come out for the 360 anyway, so it kind of takes the point away from it. I mean, I'm not sure what they're doing with the PlayStation movie. I haven't really been keeping up with Sony very much. I'm sure they're going to be showing off the new God of War since they revealed that last month, I think. They'll obviously show off the All-Star game and show actually how many other characters that we haven't heard of in 10 years are going to be on it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't, unless they're going to talk about the PS4 and how much they're going to improve their servers for next year, considering since the hacking incident, I'm not sure where else they can go with it.
The thing is, we're looking at all the things that are going to be announced for PS3, and we're just seeing a list of games that are announced for it. I mean, it's hard to imagine that a PlayStation 4 will be ready to go to market this year. It could be announced. I'm thinking that some kind of new features will be put into there. I know we've talked in the past before, either privately or on the show, about basically games being just software in the cloud that people could download or purchase or even stream from their consoles, depending on how good their internet connection is. I think that's a definite possibility for a PlayStation 4 or even an Xbox 720, which we'll get into when we talk about Microsoft. But definitely, I mean, since Sony pioneered Blu-ray, they're definitely going to keep that around. I'm not too sure what they expect from them, to be honest. I'm hoping for another Uncharted game at some point with Nathan Drake. I'm hoping for, at least some kind of new IPs from Sony that's not just the regular. You have a point. All the games we're seeing are for Xbox, PS3, PC. Xbox, PS3, PC. There is very little exclusive titles going on any longer.
Which is kind of a good thing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how happy I was to hear Final Fantasy came on the Xbox, because I was not going to shell out $300 for another console. It's nice that we're getting to the point that we're not hearing the word exclusive as much anymore, but I mean, either way, the exclusives that each title has, I mean, those are the kickers that keep them in business, right? So
it's true.
Because when you think about it, you have Resistance, Metal Gear, even though Metal Gear is going to drop onto the Xbox 2 with the new, what's it called? Revengeance.
Vengeance, yeah.
Free Vengeance, what a stupid name. But I mean, then you go to the Xbox and they have their Halo or Gears of War. I mean, each side has a bunch of things that they bring to the table that really puts them apart from everything else. So I mean, that's what keeps it so exciting. But most of the games now, you don't hear exclusive as much. Like Call of Duty's on everything, Ghost Recon's on everything. Any major game now seems to be on everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a way for developers and publishers to maximize their profit potential for each game. Exclusives don't make any sense anymore, but as you said, exclusives are the bread and butter of each console, and if they don't have those, then they essentially fall flat. So what does this mean for the gaming industry? Because exclusives are nowhere near what they used to be back in the 90s. I mean, there was huge number of games on Nintendo and then huge number of games on Sega that never crossed. But, I mean, what do you think this is going to be for the basically the industry?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's already started to change, because, I mean, you think, how many apps now does Xbox have on their console? That's what they're trying to do now. What the console race now is I don't think it's no longer about the exclusives anymore. It's about what the console offers to you along the side.
I see. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because, I mean, if you looked at the new kind of, updates of Xbox, you can see all these new things, like, here in Canada we have Rogers On Demand. In the States, I know you have, Comcast, England O2, basically, if you have these cable packages, an Xbox is now your PVR, in a sense. As well as being a media box, music box, downloading independent games. So yeah, absolutely, I see that point. It just kind of, I don't know, feels weird for the gaming industry to be moving more that way. But I get it that they have to make a buck that way.
Well, I mean, when you consider how everything now seems to be about apps and social gaming and that kind of stuff, it doesn't seem like much of a surprise.
Mm-hmm. It's more money, but I hate social gaming. I hate Farmville.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I understand.
My only exception to this is Minecraft. That has been my only exception to it.
Yeah, true. I don't want to buy any more freaking cows. Not that I'm buying them.
You know you love Angry Birds.
I do love me some Angry Birds.
I hate Angry Birds, sorry.
I love it, just throwing an object into a bunch of other objects that explode, and there are pigs there. I
mean, here's the thing. I understand that there are games on the go, but come on. I spent my time I remember going on an airplane to Florida, and I was just playing Pokemon the whole time.
Exactly, yeah. The long game, the long RPG is kind of, it's dead.
When you say the long game, it's interesting, because I was just talking to a buddy of mine earlier, and we were talking about how expensive everything is nowadays. And my first thought is, yeah, but when you think about it, think of getting a game like Minecraft, which we bought for like $30 with the Microsoft points.
Yep.
And think about buying a CD, which is $25. I've already logged in over 80 hours into Minecraft. I would not listen to a CD for 80 hours.
Oh no, absolutely not.
I mean, when you even like a game like Mass Effect, $60, you get 50 hours out of it. I mean, video games are still a heck of a lot better options than CDs or DVDs when you're only going to get a couple of watches out of it.
True. And, I mean, the mainstream video games that we have on the DS, the Vita, the Xbox, all the major consoles, they are much longer thought-out games than anything you'll get on an app store. For a few exceptions, but for the most part, you're talking about games that are meant to occupy your mind for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes tops.
I love how somebody tried to explain to me and argue with me that social gaming offers you a lot more gameplay time than console games. I'm like, no. The reason that you say that is because a lot of the social games, what they do is you click and then you have to wait 15 minutes for something to happen so you can use it and click on it again. Yeah. That's not gameplay. That's waiting. That's doing nothing. That's turning your console off and then turning it back on 15 minutes later.
That's EVE Online gameplay.
Oh God.
But I mean, speaking of which, I mean, like, EVE Online, the CCP developers are bringing out a PlanetSide-like shooter that it's going to be fun. It's an MMORPG that's, it's different and it's going to be, I don't know, exciting to play, I guess. I don't know why I went down that route. I really love the guys at CCP.
You're just like, yeah, it's going to be exciting to play. That's really selling the game,
I'm looking forward to that game.
Just admitted you're biased on Dust 514.
I am biased. I am completely biased on Dust 514 and EVE Online. Anything from CCP, don't listen to me because I am biased in that regard. I just love it.
It's okay. It's all going whoosh over me anyway.
Alrighty, but
it's not my cup of tea.
Well, let's talk about some of the headlining games, anyways, coming up from not just Sony, but in the Xbox realm as well, because we're kind of talking about that as well. Any game that sticks out for you that's coming out in this following year that you want to see?
Oh, Borderlands 2, without a doubt.
Borderlands 2. I mean, it looks like almost the same gameplay as Borderlands. I mean, granted, I've only played about 15 minutes of the first one.
But it won't be 1 billion guns this year, it'll be 2 billion guns. They do look like they've improved a little bit. I mean, that was a game that, if you were a shooter fan but you didn't like the military shooters, like, that was the game that year to just completely get away from it and just go for the absurdity.
Just craziness. It was a crazy game. And it was a welcome change of pace from the kind of like CODs and the dark, gritty stuff. I mean, it was cel-shaded. We haven't seen that kind of stuff since 13 and Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. 13 was a great game, too. I love that.
Was fun.
Throwing glass at people and hitting them in the eye and just seeing the extra camera shot from them. That was amazing.
It was a cool game. I want to go back and play that now, actually. Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Hitman Absolution. We've talked about that before, I think, but it's just Hitman's always been a fun game for me. It's just that kind of, long stealth action game that gives you really that open-ended gameplay. And so far it looks pretty good, although I will say I'm kind of hating the different retailers' pre-order bonuses that you get. One gets an entire minigame to themselves, while other ones get like different costumes and stuff like that. I don't know.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
Can we stop with the exclusive stuff that you can get from each store, and at least at some point later sell those things for like a $2 price ticket for everything else? Because it's kind of insulting to players that if they only go to one store, they get this, but if they didn't go to these other two stores, they can never get this content.
Well, the thing is, they did that with Deus Ex Human Revolution. They did that in that once the pre-order bonus had, like, pre-orders were done, game's been out, I think it was about 3 months after that, you could buy both the two different extra things that you could get from either one of the retailers, Best Buy or GameStop, online for, I think it was like $5 a piece. And one of them had a new mission, the other one had a bunch of guns, as well as more practice kits or something like that. I got both of them, and I'll tell you, it's a blast having all the stuff, but you're so overpowered at that point, it's not funny. So
it's okay. It doesn't mean it's not fun. Come on, Grand Theft Auto with cheats, really.
That's true. Just spawning rhinos on top of people. It's like, hey, guess what? Tank. Hey, guess what? Tank. Splat. Splat. That's fun games, But anyways, moving on to, let's just touch on Xbox, possibly the 720 coming out. With this, I mean, Microsoft doesn't have a Blu-ray commitment to uphold. Do you think they're going to get rid of discs? Do you think they're going to go to some kind of other medium?
I feel like they're going to. I really wish they wouldn't, because I'm not sure internet service providers are going to provide enough download space for it, so that worries me.
But what if they went to cartridges?
If they went to cartridges, I don't know. I guess I kind of welcome that back because I'm an old school guy, but
yeah,
I'm not sure I want to blow on them again. But
well, I mean, like, imagine if there were. I'm not going to say USB because they're not going to do that. They're going to come up with some kind of proprietary port. But like, if they came on like a little stick, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be. I mean, when you think about how small are the stuff now, like with the Vita and the DS and all that stuff, can you really think the space they can fit on that? Imagine what they can do to get a big game.
That's true. I mean, flash memory is just massive nowadays. 64 gigabytes is nothing.
Well, yeah, you can buy terabyte hard drives for like $100, not even now.
Yeah, well, we got SSDs that are, getting way up there in size, and I can imagine the next Xbox and PlayStation 3 holding a solid-state memory drive instead of an actual hard drive with a spinning disk platter.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, what I can say is I think we're done with the age of discs. I think we are.
Yeah. I mean,
if we're not, it's that this is going to be the last cycle. If they continue with this with the 720, the PS4, that will surely be the last one, because there's no way another 10 years later we're still going to be on discs.
No. There's just unless someone finds another way to make these discs hold more memory or find some way to compress it down. No, there's no way. Absolutely not.
Discs?
No. But the one thing I'm looking forward to for the next Xbox is out of the box rechargeable battery controllers and out of the box wireless. Because I'm stuck with one of the old school, like one of the second shipment Xboxes that came out.
Oh yeah.
And I don't have a wireless card in it. I don't have any kind of battery, like rechargeable batteries for my controllers. So I'm actually looking at my table right now. There's about I'm going to say about 25, maybe 30 AA batteries just sitting around. I know half of them are dead. The other half are almost dead.
It's just a game. Okay, is this one? Damn.
Damn it. Yep. It's just, you see me sometimes in any kind of game, and it's just you can tell when I've out of batteries, because I go for about 5 seconds, and then I stop and go, stop, go, stop. It sucks.
That's why you get the rechargeable packs that plug into the USB ports.
Yeah.
And then you can play while they're still on, and then you never have to recharge.
I'm just waiting for Microsoft to fix that little thing for me with the next console. Anyways, E3 is going to be next week. Adam, you're going to be holding kind of a live stream for yours on your Twitter, correct?
I will try to.
Okay. Because I have to work, unfortunately. So I have to make a paycheck.
Money. Who needs that?
Who needs money? But why don't you give the universe your Twitter handle?
Well, it will be for this thing, since I'm eventually probably going to make a Twitter for the downloadable opinion site, but for now it will be at Adam Gaetan, ADAMGAETAN. So.
All right. Keep it well, check it out there. Anyways, I don't think we have too much of quickie news going on. I'll take the first one since obviously I'm biased on this. Dust 514 is taking beta requests now. If you log on to CCP's site for Dust 514, you can sign up there. You can give their whole, do the whole spiel about why you want to be in the game and all that jazz. I think Dust 514 is supposed to be coming out sometime this next year, Q4. As well as, Adam, did you want to take the next one?
Yeah, the guys who made the GoldenEye remake and Dead Space Extraction, which I think was Visceral Games, was it?
Yes.
I think it was Visceral.
I remember Extraction being by Visceral.
So they're apparently developing a new Harry Potter-themed Kinect game. And I will simply say this, if anybody played the last Deathly Hallows game, they'll realize that this is gonna suck. Harry Potter games have never been that very good. I guess they're trying to go after the market that Magica left open when PS3 just recently released that, which ended up being okay, which was a good idea. But I mean, again, I really do not trust anything with the Kinect right now. I mean, they're apparently going to start making a Dragon Ball Z game for the Kinect. Really? I'm pretty sure that the Kamehameha Wave is not going to work very well with that thing.
No, probably not. I mean, we saw what happened with Star Wars Kinect and all that jazz. Kinect just needs to find its own way, and maybe the technology is not just there now. It's
going to take another generation or two. I knew that the second the Kinect came out, I'm like, it's going to be a slow way to really get motion controls down.
Yeah, it is. And we're seeing I would say, a departure from motion controls, but, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I really hope the technology moves forward, because it would be kind of a cool way of, having, I have a personal dream of having, a holodeck sometime in the future. That'd be kind of cool.
It'll be right after we all die, you know that.
Oh yeah, I know. The day after I die, immortality will be invented. That's the thing.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs will win the cup.
The Toronto Maple Leafs will win the cup. Oh god, yes. All right, so we're gonna get into our open-ended question. This one is probably going to set Adam off to be very, very angry and loud and just going to kill a lot of people, which I hope doesn't prove this point right. Anyways, CNN last week came out with an article called "The Demise of Guys: How Video Games and Porn Are Ruining a Generation" by Dr. Philip G. Adam, do you want to attempt that?
Zimbardo, I think.
Zimbardo? Yeah.
Either way, let's just call him Dr. Phil, because I hate Dr. Phil.
Okay, we'll call him Dr. Phil. But anyways, the article goes on to basically say that increasingly researchers say, yes, that young men are becoming hooked on the arousal and sacrificing of their schoolwork and their relationships in the pursuit of getting that tech-based buzz. Every compulsive gamer or gambler, alcoholic, or drug addict will tell you that they increasingly want more of a game or drink or drug in order to get the same quality of buzz. Basically, this article goes on to say that guys are losing more to their relationships. They're not being as active with the opposite sex. They're not being basically talking to people, getting out there in the world and becoming functioning members of society. It goes on to quote another story of what they call degeneration. In 2005 in Korea, a man basically played himself to death, went into cardiac after playing StarCraft for nearly 50 consecutive hours. So, it's just all this research. It's just, I don't know. Adam, go ahead.
Not everybody plays a game for 50 hours straight.
No.
The longest I have ever played that I can think of off the top of my head is when Mass Effect 2 came out, and I played it from when I got it at 10 in the morning to 2 in the morning the following day.
Yep.
So that's what? Maybe 16 hours? I can't stay awake for 24 hours, let alone, you're always going to get those weird cases, and that is stuff that the media and people who have a problem with video games are going to take. Mm-hmm. I mean, the part where they're saying it's sacrificing relationships and schoolwork, I went through 3 years of college and was on the honor list every year, so that wasn't a problem. I've had a girlfriend for 4 years in that time. My brother plays Xbox a lot. He has a girlfriend. Almost every male friend that I have that's over the age of 16 that I play with on Xbox, they have a girlfriend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so where they're getting this research makes no sense to me. It's the same idiots that are getting this research that kids are getting fat because they're playing video games. No, they're getting fat because their parents keep treating them to McDonald's cheeseburgers every day.
Video games are being the scapegoat for all these other problems that are going on in the world. Just going on with the kids' lives. I mean, we've seen this countless times with school shootings where it's been blamed on video games like Halo and Doom and all these other first-person shooters as being trainers for mass murder and, death and destruction and everything. When it's actually, when you go into these kids' lives, they're basically being sucked down by their entire societal environment where their parents are out 24 hours a day. They have no basic parental figures to look up to. They're being fed all this fast food, sugar-fed stuff because it's easy for their parents to get a hold of and give to them. It's so disturbing to see really high educated individuals blaming things on the video games or comic books or music as the contributing factors to these massive, horrendous events that take the lives of so many people in school shootings or otherwise. It's just, this column isn't dealing with that stuff. It's dealing with why video games are basically bringing our male side of our culture down a few pegs, I guess. But it's still... This isn't the reason why it's happening. It's just the scapegoat. There's got to be other reasons why, and I'm surprised that there aren't listed here in this article.
It's just disgusting to me because it's that elitist attitude where they will not admit that it's their fault. It has to be somebody else's fault. Parents will constantly blame something else for the problems that their kids cause. If a kid gets in trouble, they're saying, "Oh, well, he listens to this music or he watches this TV show or something like that." It's never their fault. Yeah. I mean, when you were talking about being a trained killers, how all these shooters are training them, I'm going to give a quick plug here. If anybody's ever heard of the Magicians Penn and Teller, they had a show on Showtime for a good, I think, 8 seasons. It was called Penn and Teller's Bullshit, and they did an episode on teen violence through video games. And what they did to prove this is that, they went to this expo showing all these kids playing that kind of stuff, and they all look relatively normal. They don't they're going to just suddenly pull a shotgun out from underneath their pants and just start killing everybody. Yeah. But they bring this 11-year-old kid who looks like this cutest little sweetheart you'd ever seen. Glasses and everything, the little short bowl haircut, that kind of thing. The old cliche. Yeah. And they give this kid an AR-15 assault rifle and put it in his hands, being held by a trained Marine, or an ex-Marine, I think he was. He gets 3 shots. He shoots once, and you can tell almost immediately that it scares the crap out of him. And then, he gets asked if he wants to fire the other 2 bullets. He immediately refuses. And they cut away. And they do the little spiel, but then they show one last piece of footage to end the show, and it's that same kid bawling his eyes out right in his mother's arms.
Yeah.
That's a trained killer?
No.
Nice job, Jack Thompson.
Jeez, I haven't heard that name in a while. But I gotta say that there is merits to what they're saying, that seeing violent images has some kind of effect on a person. Yes, I think any kind of, seeing anything will affect you in some way or another. It's what you do after seeing those images and the environment that you're placed into afterwards is what determines what what your mind will categorize those images as.
So then why don't they go after the Saw movies?
Well, I mean, the thing is, video games are the medium of the decade. I mean,
it's like how metal was in the 80s. It's simply that.
Exactly. It's metal in the 80s. It's rap in the 90s. It's the 60s, the entire music movement then that was basically being attacked by
shaky hips is such a crazy thing back in the 60s.
Absolutely. It's just, video games will be attacked more and more and more until there's another medium in which basically these guys to go after, which will probably be the social aspect, the networks, the Facebooks and Twitters of the world, but video games are still on the
I actually feel the opposite about that. I'm kind of scared because I'm having a hard time believing that there's going to be something coming out anytime soon that's going to take us off the map.
Yeah.
It really doesn't look like there's anything coming unless Japan starts releasing sex dolls and really starts putting them in the U.S. I don't think you're going to see anything really.
That would be cool.
Really countering. Because technology is not going to get any more advanced until they start getting into the holographics and the virtual reality stuff. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell if gaming's ever going to get out of that. Because I mean, it just recently got officially named an art last year. And it took how long? When did P0rn come out? 60-something? Or 70-something?
It was first on the oscilloscopes, not an actual game console, back in, 1960s, even maybe earlier in the 50s, late 50s.
So think about that. That's at least 40, 50 years that it took for this genre to finally be recognized as an art form.
Yeah.
And it's still not acceptable. So that it kind of makes you think, how long if it takes 50 years for it to be called an art, how long is it going to take for parents to stop using it as a scapegoat? It's going to take a long time.
It is going to take a very long time.
Mind you, it doesn't really help when you have games like Call of Duty and all those other ones that are just making 12-year-old kids go ballistic on it.
Yeah. The ESRB is there for a reason. The parents have to actually realize mature rating is there for a reason.
I remember walking into an EB Games, and there was a parent storming in with a copy of The Sims 3 for the Wii saying, "Oh, this has sex in it." And my first thought is, well, one, no, technically. It's just bumps under a bed, and all you hear in the background is, "Woo!" Two, it says on the rating, it is for teens, and the kid that she walks in with is clearly 10.
Yeah.
You look at the label, it's nicely printed there in the bottom corner, you turn it over, it says what's there. Yeah. But again, if a kid cries about it, says he really wants it, a kid will buy it, or no, not a kid will buy it, a parent will buy it just to shut them up so they can go back to watching TV or whatever else they want to do, so that way they don't got to deal with the cries.
Exactly. I mean, granted, both you and I had played mature-rated games when we were, 10, 11, 12.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. Grand Theft Auto 3, a bunch of other games that we should never have had. But I think I won't say we had a better upbringing, but we found a way to deal with those images and deal with those, basically the gameplay of it in ways that were productive or constructive, I'd say I had the better upbringing. I didn't get timeouts like most of these kids, I got spanked when I did things badly. I knew if I was doing something I shouldn't have.
Yeah. Mostly capital punishment, but yeah, that kind of spanking. Capital punishment. Ha! You were talking too loud. Lethal injection.
So instead of hanging, we get smacked on the butt. That really works.
It would set a very good precedent.
That would be interesting. Oh my god, it just reminds me, this one guy was talking about how, execution shouldn't even be with the electric chair or injections anymore. Since everybody seems to be allergic to peanuts now, they're just going to be given a can of Skippy.
No.
It's just absurd.
Oh god. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for us for today. We will obviously be back for next week's E3 and talk about all the fun announcements that have been going on there. Anyways, I'm Brian Best. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at BRIANBEST. Follow me on there if you like. Adam.
And again, Adam Gayden, I'll be here for E3, at least for most of it. Depends on if I get bored, because Ubisoft, I'm not sure I'm going to be enjoying Ubisoft that much, but you can follow me at Adam Gayden at ADAMGAETAN. And thanks a lot, Brian, because now I feel like I want to go buy 13 and then have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So,
you know what? You should. You should go in there and have a nostalgia trip and just enjoy it, you know?
I wish we could put music in this because we should be ending with peanut butter jelly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we've gotten on way too much.
Exactly.
We went from Nintendo and Mario to peanut butter. Okay.
Yep.
I think we've done our job.
We've done a very good job today. Yeah, anyways, guys, give us a shout on Twitter if you like the show, if you want to talk to us of anything. We're always up to, chat about E3 and video games and whatever else there is. But anyways, until next week, this has been Downloadable Opinions, episode 3.